Good afternoon. I see a lot of young faces, and let me tell you that before I go on my topic, we as a country celebrate many festivals, and today we are celebrating Vidhi Utsav, which is also a legal festival. Let me dedicate a poem to our Vidhi festival before I go to my topic. मुझे मत दिखाओ ये नया भारत, मैंने पुराना हिंदुस्तान देखा है. नज़ीर की होली देखी है, कबीर का राम देखा है, मैंने अपने घर की दिवाली देखी है, बिस्मिल का अशफाकुल्ला खान देखा है. मुंशी प्रेमचंद की ईदगाह गया हूँ मैंने अब्दुल हमीद का बलिदान देखा है. मैंने फूल वालों की सैर देखी है, इस धरती पे अब्दुल कलाम देखा है. इस आज़ान काशी में सुनी है मैंने, बनारस का बिस्मिल्ला खान देखा है. मुझे मत दिखाओ ये नया भारत, मैंने पुराना हिंदुस्तान देखा है. I have the privilege and the honor to be in this festival today, but let me tell you that I'm in the Supreme Court practicing for only past 40 years. And when I was a young lawyer, and when I joined a law firm, let me start with an anecdote of my own, where I started looking for a house, and I had 4 disqualifications. पहला वो कहते थे कि छड़ा को नहीं देंगे, आई विल नॉट गिव अ हाउस टू अ बैचलर. द सेकेंड वॉज आई केम फ्रॉम बिहार, बिहारी को नहीं देंगे. नंबर 3, इन सम प्लेसेस दे वुड से मुसलमान को नहीं देंगे, एंड आई प्रोफेस्ड इस्लाम. एंड द 4th disqualification वेल कि वकील को नहीं देंगे, एंड आई हैड जस्ट जॉइन द बार. And therefore, I had all the 4 disqualifications. I went to a landlord in Greater Kailash Enclave too and told him, sir, I have these 4 disqualifications. I will not enter your house. He said, I have never seen such an honest tenant. And he gave me the house on rent. And at that time, my salary was rupees 800 and my rental of that house was rupees 800. That is how I started my career. Now, let me also share that in my long career, I had the privilege of interacting and briefing a large number of legal luminaries, including Mr. H.M. Sirvai, Mr. Govind Swaminathan, Mr. A.K. Sen, Mr. Nani Palkiwala, Mr. S.S. Ray, Mr. Ram Jethmalani, Mr. Shanti Bhushan, Mr. Ramaswamy, Mr. Nariman, Mr. Sorabji, and many, many more. Let me first share let me now go to my slides. But before I go to my slides, let me first share one anecdote from one of our former Chief Justice, Justice Hidayatullah, who was also our former Vice President. In his book, this is not a part of my book, I thought I'll share it first. In his book, My Own Boswell, he writes about his father. And his father was a part of the Central Legislative Assembly, which was prior to our Indian Parliament. And he was to always vote for the government. And there was a legislation which was brought before that assembly, and he was going to vote in the ayes row. He was to go to the ayes row. So one of his friend, Mr. Harbilas Sarda, he was himself a Urdu poet. So he narrated a couplet to him, and it said, आया करो इधर भी मेरी जान कभी कभी, निकले मेरे भी दिल के अरमान कभी कभी. Come this side also sometime, my dear, so that we may also sometimes get your heart's desire. And that day he voted again for the opposition, and that bill was defeated. Now let me take you to my slides. And in this, how do I, this way, if I go, how do I go ahead? See, there are so many young people here. So from my book, I have selected some of the instances of brilliance Mr. John Duncan in Verarity was a very eminent lawyer of Bombay High Court. And in one of the very important matters, he was appearing, but he was called in some other court. So he delegated that work to Mr. Settleward, who later became our first Attorney General of India. And they were moving in the courtroom. The matter was being argued. Then from the other court, he just went near that court and found there was a complete silence inside. And they were all looking for some statement in a particular witness, and they were not able to locate in that 800-page document. He came inside the court, told them, go to this page, and exactly they were able to locate where this man had not seen the brief for almost for 6 months. Justice Syed Mahmood, who was also the son of the person who established Aligarh Muslim University, where I also studied, and he was also fond of good drinks. Then one day he was arguing a matter before a court, and he completely argued against his client. And the client was inside, he was very worried that what has he done? So the instructing lawyer told him, sir, you have completely not understood our brief and you have argued against us. I just said, don't worry. So he told the judge, my lord, this is what my learned friend on the opposite side will tell you, my lords. Now let me give you my side of the story. And he completely changed his arguments and he succeeded in the matter. That was the brilliance of that judge, that lawyer. Sir Jamshedji Kanga was one of the most brilliant lawyers of his time. And in fact, Mr. Nariman and Mr. Sorabji had been his juniors. And even Justice S.P. Bharucha, who later became the Chief Justice of India, was his junior. So he told him that please go and some research to be done by Justice S.P. Bharucha. And he told him from his memory that go and see there is a judgment in Pollock and Mullah, and there is a case related to Bank of Japan. The only mistake he did from his memory was it was in that book, it was not Bank of Japan, but it was Bank of Tokyo. That was the memory and the brilliance of that man. This is very interesting. Mr. Ashok Sen had a prolific memory. In fact, his library was housed into 4 and 5 houses of this city. Once a solicitor came to him and took his opinion, as he could not afford him to take him to Calcutta High Court. And then he gave him a written opinion. And when he gave him a written opinion, he went and argued his matter, but lost the case. And then the matter came up in Supreme Court, and a special leave petition was filed. And then he saw the brief, and he tells him that 6 years back, I had given you an opinion. In para 4 of that opinion, you have not argued it, and therefore you have lost it. And his clerk Bhaumik took out that written opinion, and he remembered every line of the opinion that he had given 6 years back in that matter. That was the brilliance of, he was our law minister also. And Nani Palkiwala, you will all know. Nani once went to Edinburgh, Scotland, to give a speech. And his speech was recorded. But he was not told that it was being recorded. And he spoke extempore. When he used to also give speeches on the budget, when the budget used to come. And they requested him, sir, can you send send us the transcript of the speech? And he came back, dictated that speech to his secretary. Not a word, not a comma and full stop was missing, and he remembered his entire speech from his memory. That was the brilliance of that man. Now let me give you, because Justice Shagdar just spoke, that integrity in any profession, particularly in our profession, is very important. Our former Attorney General, our first from Attorney General, Mr. Settleward was so honest that he kept 2 phones in his house. One phone was kept inside in his bedroom that was used for personal purposes, and one phone was for was from the official phone, which was kept in the drawing room, and whenever his wife called him, he had to go out from the drawing room to his bedroom to pick up the call from his wife. So he used to keep two phones at his home. That was the integrity level of this, our first Attorney General. And this, once Mr. Sirvai, who has written that famous book on Constitution, he was once approached to give a written opinion. And this man held several conferences and then ultimately gave his opinion and sent a very small bill to the solicitor. The solicitor got worried, sir, if you charge such a small money, what will the client give me? So he said, the client is willing to pay you more. You know what he said? That I will not charge more fees for him because he came to me thinking that I know the law very well and therefore I could have given him that opinion. But I had to do a lot of research and then only I gave him the opinion. And even if he's wanting to give you more money, will you become a thief? And he did not charge extra money from that client. Now let me go to the interesting part of my talk today. By Akbar Allahabadi had written about us, पैदा हुआ वकील तो शैतान ने कहा लो आज हम भी साहिबे औलाद हो गए. When the first lawyer was born, a gleeful Saturn exclaimed, I have also been blessed with an offspring. Don't worry, it's just a satire on us. Sir Bhashyam Iyengar, he was a very eminent lawyer, so he was a knighted person. He was a very traditional man, South Indian, Tamil. So he once was invited by his English friend to have a cup of tea. He said only on one condition. I'll go, my own cook will go, he will carry his own utensils, he will carry his tea and whatever. We will have tea there and nothing will be done from your kitchen. So he went there. And then they had a good cup of tea, good discussion on law. And when he was leaving, a big Alsatian dog of the Englishman came and touched his dhoti. So this man tells him, please call him back. He said, don't worry, a barking dog never bites. He says, I know the proverb, you know the proverb, but the dog doesn't know the proverb. Please take him back. This is about Mr. Rash Bihari Ghosh. During the British time, there was a magistrate who had the very bad habit of smoking while sitting in the courtroom. So he was very annoyed. He was a knighted person and says, this is no way. So, but the judge will not, the magistrate will not listen to him. So what he did was, one day he took a bottle of wine and took a glass in the courtroom, poured the wine in his glass, and the judge asked him, Mr. Rash Bihari Ghosh, what are you doing? And by that time he had lighted his cigarette. So he asked him, sir, what are you doing? So he says, here goes out my cigarette. He threw his cigarette. He took the wine, here goes in my wine. Sir Walter Colvin and Sir Charles Ross Alton, they were very pre-independent time in Allahabad High Court, very eminent lawyers, both were knighted. So Walter was very tall and Charles was very short. So one day, Walter tells him that, Charles, I'm thinking of putting you in my pocket. He said, don't do that mistake. If you do that, you will have more law in your pocket than in your head. Muhammad Naseem, father of the ex-advocate General Muhammad Wasim, was a leader of Lucknow Bar in his time. Mr. later Wazir Hassan was working as his junior. And one day his senior had to go somewhere else, and he was asked to appear in that matter. And it was before a judge who was Justice Stewart. He was not willing to listen to him, and he was almost going to dismiss his matter. So the client was sitting behind. He came rushing near the courtroom, and he said, "Sir, मैंने तो अरबैन किया था और एक गधा पेश हो रहा है. I have hired a Arabian horse, but an ass is appearing for me." So the judge had a hearty laugh and he adjourned the matter. The wittiest lawyer ever born in our post-independent India was Mr. C.K. Daftari, our first Solicitor General and our also the Attorney General. He was appearing before a bench, before a lawyer in Bombay High Court, and he didn't like the judge. So he gave him a book, and the book had a bug inside. So the judge told him that, "Mr. Daftari, there is a bug in the book." They said, "My lord, I am very sorry. It's a very ambitious bug. It has traveled from the bar to the bench." Mr. Daftari and his wife were celebrating their golden anniversary. They were married for 50 years. And there was a celebration, cake cutting. And then he was asked to come and speak. And then what he told the audience, that I am married to Cicely for last 50 years, but let me tell you, the first 49 had been very difficult. And Cicely was just watching him with this thing. A function was being held in the Bombay High Court to unveil the portraits of the retired judges, and most of them had died also. So Daftari, in his usual jovial style, opened his speech and told the audience that he had no doubt that in course of time, all of your lordships present in this function will be duly hung. This is very. Mr. Ram Jethmalani was a very eminent criminal lawyer. I also had great occasion of working with him. So one day there was a matter being argued in the Supreme Court, and the argument of the lawyer was that my client was 65 years old and he was not capable of committing rape. So, the judge, Mr. Jethmalani, was sitting there. The judge asked him, "Mr. Jethmalani, you have such large experience. What do you have to say about it?" He came in the front and bowed down and said, "My lord, I plead guilty." And he said that, "I plead guilty, I am capable of committing." Once the former Chief Justice T.S. Thakur, this is for the youngsters to take the clue from there, that he asked him when he was almost 85 or so, Mr. Jethmalani, when will you retire?" He said, "My lord, why are you asking me when will I die?" So the lawyers don't retire. And this is the most famous anecdote in our this thing. Once G. Ramaswamy was appearing before our Green Judge, Justice Kuldeep Singh. They had been great friends, and they were also together additional Solicitor Generals. So Kuldeep Singh, on his argument, said, "Mr. Ramaswamy, do you think we are fools?" You know what he told him? "My lord, if I say the truth, I'll be committing contempt of court. If I don't say the truth, I'll be committing perjury." And one day, Mr. Ramaswamy caught hold of Sorabji and started singing the song, "Soli ke piche kya hai? Soli ke piche kya hai?" Soli got flabbergasted. He said, "What is this man doing?" They said, "Soli ke piche Sorabji hai." And once Mr. Sorabji was appearing in that 2G, 3G matter, so he told the court, I am neither 2G nor 3G, I am Sorabji. In fact, we are running late, so I'll skip some of them. Mr. Ashok Desai was our Attorney General, and he went as a guest of the Queen of England to London. And he preferred to stay with his old friends, Mr. and Mrs. Jovel, and did not go to where the Queen would have put him in as a state guest. And the Mr. and Mrs. Jovel said that you had a long flight, take some rest, we'll come back after 2 hours or so, and we have put some refreshments for you in this dining table. So what mistake he did was he went to the dining table and put the burglar's alarm. So the Scotland Yard arrived and knocked at the door, took him to the garden, and then after some time they arrived, and he said, Sir, we have caught him red-handed in your house, and this man has the audacity to tell me that he is the Attorney General for India, so therefore I have told him that I am the Queen of England. And they were so embarrassed, but he was very quietly sitting there. It's not going. Some problem? No, there'll be many more. But anyway, now because we have paucity of time, I had a section of weird cases. But let me end with 3 of the very interesting Urdu couplets on law. और वो ये है कि खुदा महफूज रखे आपको तीनों बलाओं से, खुदा महफूज रखे आपको तीनों बलाओं से, वकीलों से, हकीमों से, हसीनों की निगाहों से. And those who don't understand English, Hindi, Urdu, may you be protected from the 3 menaces, the trap of lawyers, doctors, and the gaze of beautiful women. और ये एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग कपलेट है कि बाइज्जत रिहा हो गईं वो कत्ल के इल्ज़ाम से, बाइज्जत रिहा हो गईं वो कत्ल के इल्ज़ाम से, क्योंकि अदालत ने निगाहों को हथियार नहीं माना. She has been acquitted of the charge of murder as the court refused to treat her gaze as a weapon. And these days, many senior lawyers are blamed for charging very high fees. We were talking about Harish Salve. I can't disclose what kind of fees I pay to the senior advocates, but there is a lawyer who has really put it in the form of an Urdu couplet, or this you will really enjoy, and with this I will end my talk today. Kabza dila diya मेरे मकान का, मेरे वकील अदीमुन नज़ीर हैं. This is very far sighted. कब्ज़ा दिला दिया मेरे मकान का, मेरे वकील अदीमुन नज़ीर हैं, पूछो जो उनकी फ़ीस तो हज़रत वकील उसी मकान में रिहाइश पजीर हैं. But it has cost me the. Thank you very much. And before I end, I have a message in the form of a couplet to my young lawyers sitting here. आपको मैं एक शेर सुना के बंद करना चाहता हूँ, अपनी बात ख़त्म करना चाहता हूँ. और वो निदा फाजली, he was a very progressive poet. He had written, कोशिश भी कर, उम्मीद भी रख, रास्ता भी चुन, फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा मुकद्दर तलाश कर. Thank you.